What's up, y'all? It's your girl Tashima here, tuning in. It's been a hot minute, but I'm back with another episode of Taking Care of Gray Hair. For all my hot ladies that have gray hair, I'm back with some more tips on how to maintain that hair looking oh so fabulous and awesome and shiny and vibrant and not dull. We do not do dull, okay? So if you know you got somebody who has gray hair, or if you yourself have gray hair, hey, take a seat and let me give you some tips on how to maintain that hair looking oh so fabulous. All right, first tip, guys, make sure that you guys use styling spritz that are clear, not colored styling spritz. Like sometimes you have styling spritz that's like yellow, sometimes you have styling spritz that's even green or green bluish kind of undertone. No, these are the kind of products you want to stay away from, because what happens is when you use the hot tool or warm tool, it has a tendency, of course, like I shared before, gray hair has a tendency to pull on undertone colors in products, and it changes the tone of your gray. So when you are using your hot tools and you use a spritz that has a dye color inside of it, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to pull on that undertone, and it's going to cause your gray to start looking colored-ish or dingy-ish. It's all attributing for it looking dingy, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Okay, so that was one tip. Get spritz that are clear in color, so that way when you use them on your hair, or a hairspray that's of a white clear consistency, if that makes sense, so you get the gist of what I'm saying, something that does not have color in it, a color dye, because you want to make sure your gray hair stays looking luscious, okay, and reflective and shiny and not dingy and dull. All right, next tip, a great thing to do for your gray hair ladies, and trying to avoid having to do too much, you guys try some heatless styles, bantu knots. I do these things sometimes. I'll take paper, like paper towel. You guys remember back in the day, the paper bag, and mama and grandma and auntie wrapped your hair around the paper and tied it. Same thing with the paper towel. Roll it, tie it. These are some things that you can do. Heatless styles to just even add some more, movement and shape to your gray without having to do too much to it in terms of putting heat. So heatless styles, okay? That's another thing you guys want to look into, like spiral rod sets where you do it overnight, so that way you don't have to be putting a lot of heat on your hair, okay? Next thing that you guys can do is use heat protectants on your hair, okay? These things help to buffer in between when you're using the hot tools. It's kind of like a protectant to help your hair stay nice and healthy. Okay, guys? I hope these tips are helping, and I hope you are enjoying them. If you have any questions and you want to ask me something on the side, just message me, okay? I'll be happy to answer and share my knowledge. All right, guys? Next thing you want to do is, and this is something that that's really cool to do, if you're like, hey, I'm gray, and you want to maybe do something like where you still want to be jazzy and snazzy. If you're someone who is like maybe almost 100% gray, you can do low lights. But when you do low lights, one that I like to recommend is whatever your natural tone was, go with that color for your low light. And you just put a few pieces in between the gray, and you'll see how that changes your look. So you tell your stylist, hey, I want some low lights, but I want whatever my natural base was, that's the color I'm going to go with. So example, if your hair normally was black and you're 80% gray or 90% gray, then you're going to be like, hey, I want some black low lights. Okay, I'll definitely share a picture or two in between, so that way you can see, or at the end of this video, so that way you can see one of my clients that I did where I did low lights, but it's extension low lights. That's another thing you can do, okay? If you don't want to mess with your gray, and it's, she was wearing her gray and we wanted to jazz it up, and you could go with some low lights, okay? And lastly, Another thing that you guys want to do, a great way to polish your gray, is to get a demi color clear. Once you say to your stylist, hey, I want a demi color, meaning it's a deposit color. It's not something that lifts the color. It's just a deposit. But you're going to ask for clear. Clear is like a way of adding sheen. It's like a sheen type of shine that it adds to your hair in a color service. Once you ask them, they should know what you're talking about. But it's a great way to add some luster to your gray hair. So it is where you have to use a little bit of developer, a very low level, like 10 volume. It shouldn't be no more than 10, because it's just to add shine, and you mix it with the clear color. Put it on, let it sit for the time to process. You rinse it out, neutralize, shampoo, condition, deep conditioning. You get ready to, do your thing and style of your hair, guys. So I'm gonna recap. Try and use spritz on your hair. If you're gonna use a holding type product, use a product that is clear in color. Do some heatless styles like bantu knots, twist out, flat twist, where you take it loose and wear it textured. Another thing you can do is use heat protectants when you're using styling products. And of course, like I told you before, use your temperature on your tools that's low. Okay. Also, low lights. Okay, don't forget low lights. When you're gray, you don't really want to hang out in the highlight family, but you can definitely rock some low lights. All right, awesome. And lastly, a demi color clear to polish your gray. Guys, I hope these tips help. If you want me to elaborate some more on what I shared, message me and I'll be happy to share the information with you. And I'll see you guys next time. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and thank you for tuning into this episode of Hey, Rocking That Gray Hair. I'll see you next time. Okay, mwah.